Hello and welcome to the Pile of Shame game, the miniature painting challenge I made to tackle a problem every hobbyist knows too well. I just really like making spreadsheets. A lot has happened since the last video, and I can confirm my collection has only grown bigger, so we really need to do something about it. I rolled this amazing kill team box and I've been so excited to paint it ever since I got it last summer. I actually built all of the models right away, but I never got around to painting it. I even started playing Kill Team recently, so this is just a perfect opportunity to paint my own warband. After thinking about it for a while, I decided to paint the Raveneers. I have an idea for a paint scheme and I think it will look really cool, so I'm very excited to try it out. When you mess around with as many colors as I do, it's a good idea to play around with the colors before you commit too hard. That is why I always start with a test model before I start the entire squad. I painted a lot of it on stream and I noticed that many of my ideas was not working out. I needed to change the color of the bones, the claws, as well as my recipe for the pink scales. After figuring this out, I was ready to start working on the rest of the models. It was a pain to paint the skin on these models. There's a lot of round shapes, so I had to spend a lot of time blending in the highlights. There was also so many arms in the way, which required some patience. I will say it was easier to paint it once I divided the whole skin into different parts and finished one part at a time. I did different mixes of the paints, adding more frog green when I wanted a greenish skin, and I added more purple when I wanted the skin to be more grey. I think it looks cool with these minor variations on the different models. I will say something I started doing recently is adding lots of layers of the different mixes. This increases your coverage, which makes the mini really pop on the gaming table. It's nice to take the model away from the painting light and see that it's still popping. The whole finish of the model will also look better in the pictures, which is a bonus. Now the only thing left to do is the final highlights, which is one of my favorite parts of the painting process. The next step was painting the bones. I created this greenish, grey, brown from mixes of frog green, imperial blue and dark rust. I think some other colors too, but I don't really remember at this point. I figured this more neutral color would look better since I used a lot of saturated colors next to it. It's also a nice way to connect the miniature to the base, as I will be using dark rust on the base later. Luckily, this part was a lot quicker to paint and I just focused on creating some texture as well as covering less and less area on each layer of highlights. For the next time I paint Tyranids, I will probably try to create a little bit more texture in the bone areas, trying to make little scratches in the bones. For the scales, I decided to paint the magenta. Honestly, you can never go wrong with that. Throw together a dark purple, a hot pink, make it really bright and then glaze over with a dark magenta. You're probably super tired of me doing this by now, as I probably use magenta in every single project. It's just the best color ever! For the highlights, I tried to create some texture by painting sharp, tiny lines in the scales. Every time I mixed in brighter highlights, I tried to cover a lesser area than the one before. Painting the faces was a little bit challenging. I wanted it to stand out from the rest of the model, but I also wanted it to have this pinkish flesh color. I ended up pushing the highlights really bright, as well as making it brighter in front of their faces. I didn't record painting the eyes, but I tried to make them cartoony and very cute. In order to increase the contrast on the face, I did a glaze of wine red in the shadows. I also tried to make these tiny little lines to create some texture. It took me some time to think about using dark blue for the claws, but I'm happy I tried it out eventually. I did mess up one of the models, making the highlights way too big and covering too much. I was being sloppy with it and I can't be bothered to fix it at this point. We're getting close to the end of this project and I'm trying to finish the smaller details. I've been using frog green on the different mixes throughout this model, so I thought using pure frog green would be a great color for these details. These inner flesh parts of the models is a fun way to add some interest to them. You can add anything from a glow effect to something very gross and fleshy. I wanted mine to look like the insides of an alien, which made me think of these greenish insides with small dots in them. Don't ask me why, but I felt like it was the right thing to do. I built up my highlights slowly, also glazing in between the layers. I wanted the transitions to be smooth. I did a glaze of frog green over the dots to blend them more into the flesh, as well as making the color stand out a bit more from the skin on the rest of the model. And then of course, painting the base rim black to clean up the base rim before calling it done. But yeah, here is the finished warband. I'm so excited to have this warband finished, painted, and that I can play with it. So far I've only been playing by myself though, so I need to find someone. Let me know if you want to see the rest of the box painted, and if not, just stay tuned. Just stay tuned for a new Pile of Shame game video. Yeah, let's go. Bye bye.